Hello, this is Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness, and thank you for watching. Today we're talking about the October 30th um, new moon. Like, is it full moon, new moon? Sometimes I'm not thinking rationally, I'm just looking at my notes. And of 2016. And it is a new moon at 8 degrees Scorpio. And this is very important because 8 degree Scorpio, we have the Sabian symbol of a calm lake bathed in moonlight. It's a time of quietness, peaceful, serenity, yet still being connected with the universe, still being at one with the universe and Mother Gaia, and just being in a meditative state and in a state of receiving instead of trying to take. Okay, a lot of times when people are not feeling very grounded, they become energetic vampires and they start wanting to take energy and try and deplete it from other people. And when people are not giving it to them, they become demanding, and without realizing maybe that's not their source for energy. Perhaps they need to do a little bit of meditation. Always, our energetic exchange should be number one with the universe, with the nature, with Mother Gaia, with our nutrients, plants, water, teas, and our beautiful raw food before going to try and take energy from someone else. Though sometimes a nice energetic exchange, especially if you have Eros involved, asteroid Eros involved, then it can be nice and wonderful. But understanding that that is not necessarily a romance, that is not necessarily a relationship, it's an energetic, a tantra exchange. Okay. And usually it means it's going to have a life transforming results because of that. So if you can do it better with something that that's going to be more memorable and positive, like a energetic exchange with music, with certain delicious raw foods, with nature, with water, going underneath a waterfall and bathing. That is the best way to do it. But anyway, so having that and being part of the universe and being part of that meditative state and really being open for, more creativity and more ideas. That is the key here. So anyway, we have several things going on. Wow. Okay. Um, we have, first of all, this new moon is conjunct Mercury, okay, in Scorpio. Now, the thing is with Mercury and Scorpio, there is a communication exchange going on. So now the way Scorpios communicate is not very direct because they don't like to put themselves out there. They don't want to be criticized. Also, they think everybody else has um, how would you say, an ulterior motive. And so they themselves are not going to be clear. They like to be vague. Also, that way, if they're vague and are not giving supportive yes or no direct answers or comments, then they can always go back and change it. And hence, they don't like to be wrong because then they're criticized. So, this way, if they leave something vague or non committal, that way they can never be wrong. You see, and hence no criticism, and then they will blame the listener for assuming. Yet the listener is put in the position of having to assume because of the vagueness of the scorpion. And when that happens, then the scorpion, when the person doesn't assume the future, there is a lack of consistency. But this way, they don't have to take any responsibility for the other person's comprehension. Okay. And this way, it's all because they don't want to be blamed. Um, I'm looking at my shirt here, sorry, and I'm going, wait, no, I want it this way. I need to focus. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so when that's going on, understand that there will be lack of clear communication. Trying to put clear communication can happen. Just ask the person, I need a yes or no. I need a definite black or white affirmation or confirmation here, or a negation, but I need it clear. And it would benefit the situation if I have a clear answer. Okay. And if they don't want to give it to you, then you just tell them, they go, okay, well, then I can consider that you will not be included or cannot be part of that. All right. Because certain things need to be clear. So, also going with that whole, with more stuff going on with this new moon, I'm like trying not to jump around. I have all these different wonderful notes. Oh, okay. We have Venus, that is, did I say full moon? I hope I said new moon. Venus is conjunct Reiki. Now, a lot of you know, as an energetic transformational healer, I like to include Reiki because Reiki is different than Chiron. Chiron is that wounded healer that's focusing on healing others, um, hoping that they can get some kind of, when I say hoping, it sounds as if they're doing it on purpose, but it's instinctual, kind of like a penance. If I help this out, then I am deserving finally to ascend and be one with the divine creator of all that is. And in that case, it's not exactly unconditional, you know, yet it's something instinctual, and we're not really. We all do that in one way or another. Sometimes we do something because we want to look nice. Oh, well, we invite someone, over, not really committing to it, and then they show up, we're like, oh. So we need to be clear on what's going on. But with Reiki there, Reiki is very about receiving the energy and healing ourselves and healing others, just realizing that that energy, we got the energy we give, and oh, I'm going to receive the energy also. And what's really nice, it's conjunct Valentine, which is conjunct um, Saturn. Now, all this is happening here in Sagittarius. A lot of people are going to think, oh no, Saturn is involved. Saturn is not negative. In fact, it stabilizes something. It really gives a nice firm base and roots going down, okay, and giving it lasting transformational results. Also, has us clear up any vagueness that Mercury and Scorpio could be creating. And so it's saying, let's be clear on certain things, which is important because Sagittarius says, let's see the forest of from the trees. But we cannot have a forest without the details of the tree. So we need to be as well as disciplined and detailed to understand the great big plan. People just want the great big plan. And some people don't care the journey, and it's nothing wrong. Then they need to leave that up to other people who like those details of creating that journey. And knowing the journey too is a learning and growing process, an energetic process. And in this case, with Venus being there, Venus likes to really is connecting and saying, and Reiki and Valentine is, I am one with the universe. I am one with the being very mystic, being very connected, okay, being very appreciative of other cultures and with other far off beliefs and mystic beliefs and philosophies here. And so Venus has a way of wanting to give that love, and it uses sex to seal a deal of some sort of, or for pleasure. But conjunct with Valentine, that is a sacrificial love of just an unconditional love, including to the point that they will put themselves out there and take a bullet for you. Okay. Um, can we tell when I said that we're in Linwood, a few blocks away from Compton? Take a bullet, Some people might say throw themselves under a bus or take the sword. But in this case, so there's that opportunity to really open up. Now, if you have that going on, since it's going on, that conjunction is between 17 and 14 degrees Sagittarius. If you have that occurring in any of your mutable signs, which is going to be Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Gemini, or in your fire signs, in those degrees, you're really going to feel it. In fact, if it's in a mutable sign, you might feel like, oh, there's obstacles. But an obstacle is not um, an opposition. It's just a step back. Is this really what you want? Okay, to get yourself involved in. Is this really how much you want to be part of it and what you're willing to give? So, it's just an opportunity to clarify within yourself, to get in touch with that inner child, and to really, really, just say, wow, um, is that something I like? And I say that too because talking about the inner child, that story, child is conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So sometimes this is a really, really good time for that healing of our inner child. Remember, healing and doing energetic releases is not a one-time deal. You don't go to the gym, work out, going, I'm good, right? We know it takes many sessions at a gym. Well, the same thing because we open up, and our inner child's not going to open up right away. In fact, it has this tight, concrete wall with wire steel box around it for protection. And our subconscious does stuff to protect it because it doesn't want that pain that we felt. And it's usually because of things and pain that we felt in the first 7 years of our life. So as we open up the steel box, we deal with certain issues. Then that concrete wall, and it opens up more and more. And as Shrek said, I know I'm quoting Shrek. My son goes, oh no, life is really curious when my mom starts quoting Shrek. But we are like an onion, layer after layer after layer till we finally, when it doesn't hurt anymore. And it could be 20, I mean, honestly, it takes a really, really a good 20 times to get, because there's something different in each layer that perhaps wasn't addressed. And this is a good time to clear that. And instead, what a lot of people are doing, they're hiding behind drugs and alcohol or numbing themselves because they don't want to feel that pain. But instead, if we go ahead and clear it and we let the tears out and we release and we clear and clear and clear, that pain no longer is going to be a pain. Instead, it'd be like, oh, so this is what happened. And if I encounter a situation similar, I no longer will feel scared. I will no longer feel pain. Instead, I'd be like, I know what to do. Okay. And that is the importance of it. But a lot of people just, they get, and can't move. And no, 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 instead of, just like, oh, okay, that doesn't affect me anymore. How wonderful. And so this is a good opportunity with Venus and Reiki and Valentine with that, with that Saturn, to really go and get in touch with a child and Neptune there. And it's not a square. Well, Neptune is still having a square with Venus and Saturn, but Neptune does affect child, okay? Child is a little bit too far away for it, but because it's like a domino effect. So it's not a direct effect of what's going on in Sagittarius with that wonderful conjunction of Venus, Reiki, and Valentine, and Saturn, but it's getting a secondary, an indirect effect, which is also very good for us. Another aspects that are going on is we have Mars conjunct Lilith. Mars is passion. Is I know that when I'm very descriptive, a lot of people are like, "Wow, it's intense how you describe things," and I get my energy into it and all that. At the same time, when I'm angry, I can get that way too. It's like, oh, wow. So that same passion can be used. Now, that passion's going on in Capricorn. The nice thing is having it in Capricorn. It's past already Pluto. It's just at the tail end, kind of like when a semi, you can barely hear the semi, or when they drove by and that loud music and they're not even on the same block, but you kind of still hear it. It kind of still affects you, but not really. Okay. And it's conjunct Lilith, that raw sexuality. The nice thing is it's in Capricorn. So again, it's giving us roots and really saying, who are we as an independent, as a self sufficient soul, entity, and person. And knowing that we are going to, if we choose to interchange that with someone else, we can be very aware, because also Capricorn is like, you know, I'm going to bring certain aspects. Capricorn is, if those of you who are well studied in sexuality, is going to be that loving dominant, not that a-hole dominant, like in Gray and 50 Shades of Gray, or these other guys who are like, I am man, hear me roar, I'm going to treat you like crap. It's the loving dominant. They are very aware of the psyche and what happens with, or the loving dominatrix, perhaps, of what goes on and how people are reactive. And they had made a study of that person before interacting. They are the father. They know and can already foresee certain outcomes and can adjust certain things ahead of time. Okay, they providing safe environment, all right, so that way one can be vulnerable and expose themselves. But when I say expose, a lot of people think negativity. Expose themselves to being loved for their rawness, for the awesomeness of who they are, without fear of being criticized, without fear of being opinionated. Okay, but being accepted for being a unique, okay, child of God, and still loving their aspects. And Capricorn is about creating those roots, and it's very connected with Mother Gaia and with the universe, because knowing without the universe, it cannot connect in Mother Gaia, and create roots as it continues upward. Capricorn likes to continue upward, yet at times it will feel very alone, sometimes misunderstood. They show love in a sense that they are providing. They might not tell you, I love you. They might not say, give you affection, but providing you an abode, a roof over your head, is the way they say, I love you. And so it's a different love language. And if you are dealing with someone like that and you're feeling unloved, understand what is their love language, and if that's not your chosen love language of how you need to reciprocate or receive, then please explain to them, because they might not have known. Guide them, coach them. Okay, but this is wonderful to have that passion and raw sexuality, and really allowing, I'm talking about, 50 Shades of Gray, and what is it, the SMN world, BDSM. Um, that dominance and submission is not one of saying, I think you're better than me. No, it's one saying, I am going to give you, the submissive person is going to give in to the protectiveness and trust it into that dominant person, who has to take a lot. I mean, being a dominant, I would think, is very intense, because they have to know so much, not just have control of themselves, okay, but they have to be aware of what's going on in the other person and of the environment, making sure and creating that environment and being safe. It is, I know when I was going through my sex coaching classes with Sex Coach University, we were, witnessing certain playtimes and case studies. It was very, I have to say, those loving dominants, it's incredible. and loving dominatrix. It's incredible. The doms, the people who kind of call themselves dominates and dominatrix, who just want to have an ego trip and just for their own use, is has no place in the BDSM and SM world whatsoever, and really, really is frowned upon and looked down upon. So if you are someone who are interested, I need to give a Venus X coach, an intimate relationship coach. I really want to put it out there that if before you ever decide to interact in something like that, know that, just like in any kind of sport, one needs to train with a coach before they themselves think, oh, just because I have a body and needs, I know how to, use it. No, no, not whatsoever. Just because we have legs doesn't mean we are the best marathon runner just because we started running. Okay, so please remember that. And if you're curious more of safe, consensual, and sane ways of interacting and wanting to experience that but don't, go ahead, give us a call at Celestial Soul Wellness so we could guide you to appropriate routes. Okay, and take my men's class and my women's class for that way to get a better understanding of how women see things, react to things, and need things and give, and vice versa with men, because a lot of people don't understand that, you know. They try and get to know someone by being needy instead of actually maybe researching them a little and get to and partake in their likes, So, just give us a call. We can guide you. We have those wonderful classes, and a lot of them we do have videos, online classes, and also through Skype. Okay. And a virtual. But continuing on with astrology, I'm sorry, I just had to put it as say because I've seen too many things, and I know that they're making coming out next year with the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey, and I really, really wish that it wasn't done so Hollywood-like and was more respectful to the community. Okay, because I know a lot of wonderful, good-hearted people who who are just great, and it deserves a better representation than what it is. And okay, so anyway, continuing on, we have Pallas conjunct Eros. Okay, now it is sextile the whole Venus, Reiki, Valentine, and Saturn conjunction there. And first of all, just a lot of times with Pallas, it is a how can I say, it's a creative intellect. It's a feminine power. It's a feminine. When I say feminine power, it's the feminine of that. Not like, oh, I can be. It is more of how that femininity can be so powerful without having to raise the voice. I know that's something I really is like, oh, that was beautiful. I wish I want to do that when I grow older, when I grow up. And it's conjunct Eros, so it is very attractive. And it is another just that's Eros. We talked about that interchange of Tantra energy. And so really using now it's an Aquarius, so that means being open-minded, and it can even happen where that creative intelligence, that femininity, that exchange of energy, being Pallas, is also the relationship between father and daughter. Okay, so it's that wonderful daddy's girl, yet because it's an Aquarius, being able to, you know, unattach itself without feeling, oh my gosh, now I owe that person and now I'm being selfish because I'm doing my own thing. It's that father daughter love. And when I use Eros again, it's that Tantra energy. And when people think Tantra, they think sex, and it's not. It is that merging of energies for transformation. So this is an opportunity where we might feel comfortable with an authority figure. It could be with the same sex, could be with someone of the opposite sex, um, or we are the authority figure and we are providing a safe ambiance for someone. And yet we have that appreciation knowing that it's just that wonderful merging of energies that has absolutely nothing to do with actual carnal intimacy or carnal knowledge. It's like when a father and daughter dance tango. It's that intense energy, and yet, thank you at the end. Okay? That's the kind of energy we are talking about. And then knowing that that goes so well with that Reiki and Valentine Venus, because when we have a good relationship going on with our child or with a parent, we have that love for them. In fact, because of them, you'll see a lot of times that the way we choose to love or way we need to love actually is in the sign of one of our parents that we've been close to because we are familiar with that style of loving. And so there's the Reiki and healing and that sacrificial love involved in and just really supporting that and knowing we can give. Doesn't mean we have to sacrifice, but just knowing sometimes that you have a safe place to land no matter what. Oh, look at just thinking of that just brings, just those beautiful thoughts gives us that inner child in us just a safe place to be able just to finally breathe at ease, you know. So, and that's a beautiful thing, okay? It's a very, very beautiful thing. Um, we have also going on, huh, I'm trying to look at my notes. I have Chiron mentioned here in Pisces. Oh, we talked about that, sorry. And I'm moving on. you know. We have Uranus that's conjunct Sybil and Cetus. Now, Sybil and Cetus are right next to each other, okay? And Aries. Aries, remember that warrior, Xena warrior, okay? The woman warrior. But at the same time is she um, she does it in the sense of though she's exalted in Cancer, to me she reminds me more of the lioness because she's not going to pick a fight. But heck, trespass on her children, on the safety of her hearth, you know, um, be very aware. Even if you think you're going to win, she'll give you a major run for your money, some legs broken, an eye missing, and stuff like that. And so really, so, it is known to be there with Cancer, that protection of the home and all that. But I really think it's the combination of the lioness and with Cancer. Maybe it was on the cusp, for that wonderful combination. And then with Aries. And then it's with Sybil there. So always making sure and trying to be aware of what's going on, knowing that people might think that someone is being neurotic or being moody. A lot of people don't know what the word emotional moody, they interchange that neurotic or bipolar. It's really sad. They learn a new vocabulary and they throw it around thinking, now I have a defense mechanism and I can make someone feel badly. Yeah, don't. Really look into that. Bipolar, meaning they're not balanced, they're not grounded, there's certain chemical issues going on in them. Neurotic means they're always on the fear and thinking the negative, so they're coming from their instinctual background and a sense of needing to survive. When they're moody, they change from one mood to the next and without any explanation. And maybe what's going on is inside. It's really quickly going on. The other people outside cannot relate because they're not moving as quickly and seeing their subconscious thought process. Okay. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, subconscious thought process, because we are aware of our thought process in our consciousness, but we do have a deeper subconscious thought, in our theta and our other brain waves. And it does have a thought process. It just goes so quickly and we're not aware of it. So it might sound like an oxymoron, but trust me, it's a very rational phrase. So what's going on there, being very aware and emotional means one just shows their emotion. They're passionate about it. Um, they see a bird dead and they might cry, and then yet they hear some news for someone and they're like ecstatic, and all of a sudden they feel betrayed and. So it's right there. They wear their emotions on the sleeve. They said very obvious, okay, where some people are like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's unfortunate, this and that. They're more stoic, okay, and closed up. So we got this going on now. Uranus is igniting all this, and it's in Aries, the sign of Aries. So there's a need of wanting to move forward and lead, and it's a very personal agenda thing. We're feeling attacked because of our own personal agenda. Yet there's that need to protect it. So we're like, why? No, I need this. And and other times we're like, really support me because Ceres is there and she's mother, like Mother Gaia, that unconditional love saying, listen, I'm very, very aware. So there's that support of Ceres, okay, of that unconditional nurturing of those other two Eddies, who is also very nurturing, yet at the same time ready to protect who she's nurturing. Uranus might create all of a sudden a need to nurture more those that we love and who are close to us than we had anticipated, even nurturing ourselves here being in Aries, okay? Or all of a sudden being aware that we need to be on the alert and look around and what's going on. So it's going to create certain things depending how it affects your personal chart, okay? It might create an obstacle where we become like, I didn't like that, without going, it's just an obstacle. It's giving us time to rethink the plan and seeing how we could get our personal just down, girl, down, down, boy, down. And so, just kind of laugh at yourself and not to take things so personal and seriously and really just letting that go and knowing that at the end, that nurturing, that parenting to yourself and your personal agenda is positive, and forthcoming and supportive. We also have, okay, we talked about that. We have, oh, this is a beautiful one. We have Jupiter squaring Alma. Most people go, how can something squaring something be beautiful? Jupiter doing anything is beautiful, except it can be overindulgence. So Alma, and those of you who don't know Spanish, is the asteroid, uh, which in English means the soul. So Jupiter is in Libra. It's wanting balance, yet there's an overindulgence in the senses of sugars and salts. Okay, kidney issues here, all right? And Alma's about the soul, our sole purpose. Why are we here? And so, what can happen with Jupiter is our overindulging can go against us. And I'll give you a really quick example in my life. I was brought up from a, a woman, very strong woman, who lived at the remnants of World War II. And so we were taught not to waste. We cut open, I mean, to this day, even though we're okay, I still teach my son, don't waste, cut open that shampoo and conditioner bottle, the toothpaste. Um, we only use 4 to 5 sheets of toilet paper. Can you imagine being taught that and having to explain that? Yeah, let me tell you, sometimes it's helped in sometimes circumstances where one felt like they had to survive. But at the same time is appreciating, going to the point is also it's about not wasting is what I'm talking about. So what happens is sometimes we think, let's say we made something and well, there was too much, no one else was going to be there. And she would always say, my mother, well, I'll sacrifice myself then for this. And really, when you think about that, meaning her soul really didn't want it, but because she felt it wasn't a need, it would be wrong to waste it. maybe give it to the neighbors, or she would sacrifice even if she felt it wasn't good for her. Maybe it was too much sweets in it or too much salt. But going with that is, I know I did that the just yesterday when we made my son. We do dessert Sundays. We don't eat starchy, simple starchy carbs unless they're fruit, except on Sunday. So we made waffles, and because I'm gluten intolerant, it's a that batter can be very cardboard tasting, so you got to add a lot of natural stuff, coconut shreds, almond milk, um, straight cinnamon to give it a taste, even hemp seeds sometimes, depending what's on the agenda, bananas. Well, I had put plums in there because I didn't want the plums to go bad, and it reminded me of the German, October cakes that we would do, coffee cakes. And so I already had two, and my son was full because he had eaten a much heavier meal earlier in the day, and we didn't want to go to waste. And because I had fruit, we didn't want, I didn't want it to go to waste, and so I did one of those. I'll sacrifice myself, to eat it. But later on in the I wasn't really thrilled about it anymore. I had my fill. I was thrilled about it, and that was it. That was good enough. But later on, I did eat it, and later on that night, I was regretting it. It was just way too much for me. It was, my body was not exactly corresponding. Those of you who know me, one of the reasons I became a health coach is because of it started out with irritable bowel syndrome, and then gluten intolerance, and then fibroids. And just so I have to be very careful of not eating too much sugar, and unless it's straight from raw from fruits, and keep myself healthy, cleanse myself out, detox and all that. And because of all my experiences, I guide other people. But I put myself through a miserable time because my body was not happy. It had too much, and it hurt. And I was like, ooh, now the whole point of Jupiter squaring Alma, yes, I know that was the point, okay, is that Jupiter kind of created an obstacle of me being true to my soul. I should have just said, it's okay. It's not wasting. I'm protecting myself. If I don't need it, I don't need it. Next time I need to make sure I don't make too much and create that kind of mentality and release that I am wasting. Instead, I can avoid it in the first place by making less, and then I can always add if I want to. So I had to do a clearing on that worried of wasting because it was so embedded in me for many, many decades. Okay, I mean, gosh, I'm in my late 40s, so you can imagine how long it's been drilled into me. And so that Jupiter squaring Alma can create those situations where we go against our own soul and personal agenda of growth and health, and being true to ourselves because of some overindulgence, and we think I am doing the right thing, yet we're hurting ourselves in the process. So really taking that time to understand what is the soul process, is that really valid or not? Maybe you're in a contract of some sort, okay? And you're like, oh, I need to do this, even though it goes against really what your soul is. A lot of people pride themselves in, well, this is a vow, this is a commitment. And though I'm not into saying let's divorce or break away from people so quickly, sometimes we need to take a step back for time to ourselves to put things into perspective, okay? And give other people time to think too. I know sometimes when people argue, they say, oh, you're walking away. Actually, say thank you that they're walking away. They're not being weak. What they're saying is, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to think this. And you, as a mature adult, should also, okay? Because just yelling, and just telling each other's pain of what's going on in their inner child is not clearing anything. And things need to be put into perspective. And so that is very important with this Jupiter squaring Alma at this time, okay? And let's see here. Am I missing anything else? And for those of you just wondering with that, it's at 10 and 11 degrees of the cardinal sign. So if you have a cardinal sign, you're going to create a T-square with that. So really time, I know my ascendant runs right there. And so it's going to create a T-square or a cross, okay? And knowing to balance that out, don't take it personal. It's really giving you an opportunity to see where you reject your soul in name of certain things you were taught or vows or commitments, agreements, because that was the way it was done at that time. All right, so this has been wow, this has been Nereida with Celestial Soul Wellness, and I really appreciate you watching. If you like any part of this video, give me thumbs up, and share this with someone you love. Visit our website, celestialsoulwellness.com, and check out our services for health and energy clearings. Partake in our chants and mantra healings circles. Also, we have tarot readings. You could join us on Meetup on Celestial Soul Wellness. We're available for virtual get-togethers also. And wow, what am I missing? Oh, of course, any astrological reading. If you have it's always good to do a 6-month forecast or around your birthday solar return. See what are the emphasis and themes going on in your life. And always remember, this is your number one transportation system. You know, just like you would put oil and change the oil in your car, you're going to need to learn about your body. See us at Celestial Soul Wellness. And we're here to help you. There are several of us healers involved and wonderful students who partake also for hours. So we're always here and thankful. But it's always a privilege to have us in your life. Thank you so very much. Chasita. Hi, this is Sirena La Nereida. Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness. And sorry if I seem a little bit edgy. I'm trying to get the right coloring, a brightness going on. I seem to not be able to get it. Let me pause this and try again. It looks to me a little. Okay, hopefully that works better. So we're doing the individual forecast for the October 30th new moon in 8 degrees Scorpio. Remember this new moon we're talking about is a lot of different things going on. I already explained the aspects. So now let's talk about the different signs. Yay! So we have Aries. This new moon is occurring in your eighth house. And in your eighth house, what's going on is transformation. Perhaps there's an opportunity to get along with someone or some kind of effects where you are interchanging some kind of energy. It could be some kind of tantra energy. This is where eros and passion is involved because it's going to allow that to not a oh you fulfill me or you're my other side. No, it's one of those where it kind of uplifts you. And so in doing that too is when you have an surgery, there's a transformation, there's a taking out. Okay. And unfortunately, with surgery, usually there's an extract. There's not something being put in unless you're getting a transplant. So, anytime when something is taken out of us, either physically, energetically, something has to slowly take that place. That's why cancer regrows because nothing is put in that place. No healing positive energy is put in there. So, be very aware of that. You might having opportunities to get in alone maybe it's not something you want to, so be careful if that you really want to take that loan or your partner is going to be sharing some kind of payment with you because if it's actually altruistic or if there's some kind of a repercussion involved in that, okay? And being very, very aware because sometimes, things have a price, all right? Also, too, is when we have that, it's a very good time to meditate and have that energy with nature, especially with Scorpio, is allow that to just really take some time on your own and just breathe it all in. Just breathe it all in. It's best if you could go to the beach or somewhere where there's water to just inhale that and just be part of that for that exchange and that self-growth. Okay? And if you're not sure, remember always to check your sun sign, your north node sign, that's your soul purpose sign, also your moon sign, and your ascendant. Those are very important because then you get a very good idea. And if it's Scorpio, your birthday is going to be coming up next month. So go ahead, or later on this month, give me a holler, give me a ring so we could do your solar return. Okay, chart, see what is the theme coming up for this next, actually I called you Scorpio, but Taurus, uh, you're not having, but the 6 month chart is good for an upgrade, now because you did 6 months, now the other 6 months tell your birthday. All right, sorry, Taurus. But yeah, I know I called you Scorpios. But it is good time to get that. You are also getting that opportunity to reevaluate what you are willing to give in your partnerships and what you aren't. Okay. It's going to be a contractual partnership, as some people are like, oh, I'm getting a boyfriend. No, no, no. It's not, has nothing to do with romance. Maybe you get some, but be careful because Taurus, you like to own people. You like to think, especially if you get them something, you own them. You like to possess. And be aware that no one has the right to do that. Be aware of your tendency to do that because you're scaring people away and you don't want to do that. And if you're trying to own them, why is it you're feeling incomplete that you need that ownership for security? Okay, because everybody partakes in our journey, comes in and out, but to want to own and dictate someone else's life, we only have the right to do that with a child up to a certain age, also not even at 10, 12 years old, the courts allow them to make decision where they want to live. So be very aware of that tendency and find out where is that insecurity, that inner child is fearful, and why you're doing that, because it's going to be in the future your downfall. Okay, it was your downfall when Saturn was in Scorpio. And if you're already past 30, it's in your progressive seventh house and Saturn, and you're having to deal with that. So you're having readjust your agreements, vows, contracts, and really think twice about getting into a Leo, es un Leo, such a situation that is so entangled, because there's always karmic debt that comes with that. Okay, being more independent and self-sufficient is so much better. Okay, have a variety of friends. Just letting you guys know, because this is something that is a lot of my clients are Scorpios and Taurus, and also Taurus is the ones who want to possess and really are not allowing others to be independent. You say they are, but you're doing it up to a certain extent. So, and this is a very good opportunity to see that. Okay, let's continue there. So we have Gemini. Okay, Gemini, this new moon is occurring in your sixth house of health, and it's talking about how your daily routine needs an adjustment, and that's very important because already with a Saturn in Sagittarius, your partnerships have been changing, what you think you wanted in a partnership and what's available and what are you willing to give. And now knowing that, realizing the number one partnership you need is with yourself. Okay, so how are you applying that to your everyday life? How are you telling yourself, I love you, I love you? Have you done your I love yous for today? Okay, have you really looked into the mirror and really enjoyed yourself? Have you given your 10 things you're thankful for this morning when you got out of bed? And your affirmation, just feeling positive? Did you do the dance of joy? Or are you relying on, okay, where can I get my energy from, as opposed to producing it for yourself? Okay. And that is something very important. Your health needs to be focused on. So really get involved in um, making those changes and being responsible, doing it for yourself. Are you doing it right? Now, you guys like to investigate too and research, but a lot of times it's incomplete. So make sure you're being thorough. the best thing to do is go with a health coach who knows what they're talking about, who understands your body type too, and can just give you a quick fix instead of you trying all these things. And it's not because you're not mentally capable. It's not why I'm saying it. It's just faster. And this way you don't have to go through trial and error. Okay. And there's no shame in it. I mean, we all thought we were doing the right thing at one time or another for our health, but they've changed things on us, the rules and the ingredients. And so what worked in the 70s and some early 80s is not working for us now. So go ahead. Also, the way you or you might decide to get a new pet, okay, because this is the area of domestic animals, a small pet like a bird, a cat, looking at Ragnar down there, okay, and also perhaps you're getting assistance or help around your daily life, okay, to really balance things out, which is very important and very good for you. And there's a lot of communication available in that. And you like that anyway. Just make sure it's being thorough and that you're listening to it completely. Because a lot of times what happens with Gemini, all of a sudden you cut out and then you didn't hear something and then you're saying because you're already wanting to say something, and it's not a criticism of being mean. It's just a shadow side. We all have our shadow sides, trust me. This being the new moon in Scorpio Gemini, I'm bringing up everybody's shadow side, okay, just so we can grow, including my own, obviously, so it is something just to consider, okay, but not to feel bad. you know know we all there's always room to grow. So get into a better health routine, okay. Go outside and walk more. Make sure that the activities, physical activities, are actually working to your benefit and not to your detriment, because for different body types there's different methods that are needed, and a lot of times a lot of people don't understand that they're just because they're breathing incorrectly, it can ruin the whole um, you know, gym procedure, going out or walking or whatever it is. Okay, so let's continue now. Thank you. And if you're not sure, give us a holler here. Join us for our classes, our health classes. They're online and also virtual or, in person, and we can help you. Okay, so let's Cancer here. Cancer, we got new beginnings occurring in your fifth house. Okay. And in your fifth house, it's romance, children, and even bigger pets, pets that are sized as a baby, okay, or even bigger, like a sheep, a goat, a pig, okay, those size. And you're having that wonderful, wonderful exchange. It's a good time to manifest and really have that number one romance with yourself. Really, really start treating yourself the way you want to be treated and not demanding it from other people, because the way you treat yourself, then people will see that and treat you accordingly, you know. Um, but expecting that they know what to know. You are very intuitive and you pick up things, but not everybody is. And so be aware of that. That is your gift, not necessarily everybody else's. So one needs to guide them on how to love you. You got to have that, the book for dummies on how to love me. So be very aware of that. Be open and sharing. Spend more time with your children and, you know, have fun with them. Dance, sing, go on little road trips and talk a lot and really have that enjoyment and excitement and see how that is going, and more communication going on with your children there. And that's always a good thing, because you feel then you can nurture, okay, and feel that you can give your all. And it's a really good opportunity, because also too is you're having that stabilization with your health. So the more you get involved with your children, the more stable and healthy you get with your health. And that also gives you opportunity to nurture yourself, and be there at work. You're nurturing yourself and you're caring, and you're just being a supervisor that people know that they're getting that support. And that's very, very important, okay? Because you're moving forward in your partnerships. You're moving forward on who you want. Is it your assistant or do you want a partnership in it? and what it is you're willing to give and what it is you're not willing to give, okay? And that's very, very important, and to really see, so that way, you're not being deceived in a sense of your spirituality, okay? But you're being supported, and that's very important, because sometimes if it's not being supportive, we're going to be like, uh-oh, and giving a whole new idea of how it can be. Especially I say that because Nessus is conjunct Neptune in your ninth house, and so that spirituality is going to allow you to really get in and to enjoy more, all right? And enjoy more yourself and everything that's going on. Okay, let's continue here. We got Leo. Leo, you got changes going on in your fourth house of home. And in your fourth house of home, what's going on is that's your physical abode where you have your roof, and it's your actual body, what's going on inside. It's not how we change our appearance, but what's going on inside and resonating onto the outside. So your health, in a sense, it's not your daily routine. Your daily routine affects your health. This is the actual mechanical things going on, how the liver is and the gallbladder is affecting the spleen, which affects your reproductive system. That's very important. So it's a good time to detox, cleanse it all out, get it all out, drink a lot of water. Have your water and lemon, hot water, your tea, lemon every morning to detox that liver. Remember, it takes at least, Dr. Eric Berg always mentions in his videos, it takes at least 4 days to cleanse the liver. Okay, so if you've been doing bad stuff to it, especially animal fat products and animal products outside of butter, it's too hard. It takes a long time to cleanse. But if you're drinking every day, you're never giving it a chance to cleanse. If you're eating animal products every day, you're never giving it a chance to cleanse completely, you know, and you're not working with the whole capacity of the liver. So when we're already feeling problems and things like that, imagine how much has collected already and what we can do, so contact us for to see how to do a detox as opposed to just a flush, as opposed to just the juicing. But really that is necessary because this is your road. Once you are cleansed, you'll have less headaches in the back here, okay, less headaches up here. Also, too, is because remember when our gut, our intestines are not functioning well and they're backed up, they reabsorb into the toxins that needed to be released. Okay, because that's what our intestines are for, to release the toxins. Okay, what happens when we're backed up, the sewer, it gets backed up, it gets reabsorbed into the body. And so it has to go through another filter thing, meaning it's there even longer. So that's why certain effects, we don't realize it. So dairy products outside of butter does that a lot. So a lot of people don't think they're having issues yet, especially in their 30s and their 20s. But more and more people, unfortunately, are getting cancer or having gut issues. I know that one of the reasons towards my health process is I had IBS, and then was not knowingly I was getting more and more sensitive to gluten, to the point now it's gluten intolerance, and also fibroids, and all that has a connection of certain things that I thought I was doing okay, yet it wasn't, and it wasn't that bad, so it wasn't like I was drinking every day or anything like that. But I thought, according to what we were brought up. So I had to relearn everything. It's one of the reasons why I went into the health field and had to see in astrology what is going on. What is this? Is this a phase? Is this a life change or not? And something you might want to take in effect, especially if you're in your late 30s and you think you're invincible. It's a good time. Always think of it this way, Leo. The healthier you are, the better quality of interaction you have with your children. How much and how wonderful of quality do you want with your children? Ask yourself, okay? Or would you rather consider yourself a masochist and just poison yourself, okay? Creating a slow suicide. Yes, we're all going to die, but it's the quality of life. Do you want to be in a cane, a wheelchair, or do you want to be active, okay, and move around? Do you want to have this much energy? I mean, 30 is the new teens, okay? I mean, Gosh, there's a bunch of us healers that we're in our late 40s or in our 50s, and we feel like we're in our early 20s. In fact, I feel better now than I did back then, and more energetic and healthier and just more vibrant. And I would not care to. I am happy being in my late 40s and very proud of it. So something that you might want to consider, okay? Because people see you the way they see you, and you are a little bit, touchy about how you are presented in the limelight. So that's also all up to you, the way you take care of yourself. Are you negative? Well, then people think, remember, when we're negative, it's just an outlook of what's going on inside. Like, but I am hurting, I am sad. Well, then do something about it. You need to go and get it clearing. Find out what is the basis. Whining and bitching about it doesn't make it better. Okay? If your lifestyle change isn't being done, then it's not going to be better. Okay? One has to do something, take that control. Okay, let's continue on. So now we have a Virgo. Virgo, hi Virgo, you got changes going on in your communication sector. This is a wonderful opportunity to go now and um, and get some new electronics, new telephone, computers, okay? Do it before Mercury goes retrograde, okay? And really take a class, learn something, and open yourself up to new energies that's all around you. And you're communicating, okay? Your communication skills, offering that opportunity. Maybe you're teaching a class, not just taking a class, okay? Maybe you're taking a class with children. It's an informal class, meaning there could be a certification, but it's not one of an academic degree, okay? But it's an opportunity to partake in the neighborhood too, or doing short trips, road trips here and there. So that is really nice. Getting yourself out of yourself. Stop being in here and really apply everything and really feel it and enjoy it. And then get to soak it all in. And you can then teach and be part of it. And that is something very wonderful, okay? Because you have so much. This is opportunity also. Maybe you're taking a music class because that's a form of communication, or singing class. If you wanted to get better in your vocabulary, expressing yourself, this is a good time to join Toastmasters even. So that way you can express yourself and they guide you. Join up on meetup.com. There's many different groups that you could join up with in your everyday life just to expand your knowledge and your enjoyment, okay? So given those opportunities, just be thankful for that because we're always willing to grow and enhance ourselves. There's also opportunity to interact more with your neighbors, your cousins, your aunts and uncles. So keeping all that in mind, but be careful on how you're communicating because it has depth. Are you really saying what you're meaning, or you're trying other people to guess? It's not their fault if it doesn't sound rational. Take the time, think before speaking, say it a few times. And like I said, if not, well, I used to do this, Virgo. When I was teaching, was very envious in a positive way of the English teachers. I was foreign language teacher, and they just sounded so wow. And I was like, gosh, I had taken only one English class at the university because all my classes were in French, Spanish, German, Italian, but I never got really to enhance my English. So I started taking a word from, the dictionary, and then I'd write it on the board for my students, and then I'd write the Spanish because I wanted to include, my Spanish, enhance it, and then the French for my French students. So some students were learning 2 words and some were learning 3. So it's really nice, but it really helped me because I got a better sense of how to express myself, knowing there were words out there that actually did envelop what I was trying to express. Okay? All right, so let's continue here. Um, let's go to Libra. Libra, we got changes going on in your second house. And in your second house, it's a house of morals, of self value, also of your finances. You have an opportunity to start a new job or to get new money. And in doing that, you're finding more value within yourself. You're finding more worth. You're feeling a little bit more secure. And that's always a good thing, okay? Especially with Jupiter, right there in your first house, it's giving you a chance to redesign yourself, okay? Do that interior decorator showing then on the outside and really let that enhance Libra. Also knowing though that down deep inside, what are those more issues that you need to get out of? We are like, and I've been quoting Shrek a lot, we're like an onion, peel after peel after peel after peel. And a lot of times, we think we have dealt with something, but just like we go to the gym, we don't, or we walk once, we don't think we've lost 20 pounds. It takes at least 20 sessions for real transformative results. And that's another thing is to really get in there and ask yourself why you're allowing certain things to get to you. Why is it you feel that it is now need to change? It's a good time to change and adjust yourself, especially with Jupiter, because you're going to have a soft landing, a positive. You're going to land on pillows, not on a hard brick wall on your head against rocks. This is a really good opportunity. Also, because Jupiter is in your sign, if you're picking up a second job, you're not going to feel that tiredness. You really have that extra support for more and positive. And that's always a good thing, okay? So, really take advantage of these energies and good luck with you. Okay, let's continue with Scorpio. Scorpio, you got changes occurring in your first house, and in your first house, this is your physical appearance, all right? Not necessarily how you are displayed publicly, but you can be changing because if you're meditating more, perhaps you're feeling more serene. Maybe you are changing the color of your hair. Maybe you're allowing your gray hair to come out. Maybe you decided to get contacts or you decided to get laser. You're going to wear certain jewelries or not. Maybe you're going to go back to wearing watches because you don't want to have the EMFs from your phone on you all the time and causing infertility, okay? Yeah, Scorpio, I thought I'd have to throw that in there. Okay, but it's for our own good to know that. Maybe a different style of clothing. Maybe you stop. I mean, I haven't worn blazers in years. One of the best things about not teaching at the school government level anymore is I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. Okay, if I'm wearing. One day, who knows? I'd be the naked astrologer. I know you guys would appreciate that, huh? Coming from a nudist. But it's really that opportunity to open up and see, and you're having that too to really and communicate what it is that you want to change because you know that there is value in it. You are seeing positive enhancements and value in yourself, and you're really getting a chance with that Saturn and Sagittarius to create those roots to really, really be there and make that transformation. It's something suave, okay, and subtle and flowing, and you're liking it. And that is something very, very good and positive for you. And your communication and things, your communication with your siblings and your neighborhood, and also the way you represent yourself with cars and technology has been changing. Perhaps you decided to get yourself a new car or computers or telephone, and the way you communicate with everybody is showing really reflecting, okay, who you are. So the inside is coming out to the outside, and you're feeling good about it and very positive. And that is always, always a good thing to take advantage, okay? Do know that certain things with your health is going to need to be aware of and be active and time to nurture yourself more, be more outside. Okay, take walks, yes, play sports, but being more, it's very necessary. And stretch, 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 stretch. Okay, because if you're not careful, you're going to have some kind of situation where you fall. You're not as flexible as you used to, and then you can hurt your sciatica, your hip, or hit your head. You don't want all that. So please stretch always, make sure that all that is being done. Oh, that feels good. Even when you're sitting down after a while, if you're at your desk, okay, do that. Walk around a little. All right, Scorpio. And if you want more information, go ahead, contact us at Celestial Soul Wellness. Look at our services that we offer with astrological services, our health services, which would be good for you also, and also our energy services. Let's continue with Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarius. I hope you're doing well. You know, you guys are really taking this very wonderfully, seeing the positive aspects of having um, Saturn in your sign and understanding certain things. And well, now it's conjunct Venus, so you're realizing how you need to stabilize. What is love for you? What is the kind of love you want to offer? And what is the kind of love you need? You're trying to find roots in it all and giving a chance to heal that within you. And what kind of a sacrificial love are you willing to get, and what would you like? There's certain people who can appreciate it and others who can't. So you're realizing what you have done and what you're willing to do. And it's even though it's in your 12th house, there's a lot of emphasis going on about your passion and love and the difference of eros and that tantra love of energetic exchange, and then that nurturing love of father and child and mother and child. So and that connection, that love of unconditional love with the universe and animals and being outside. So you're really seeing all those different levels of love. And what the Greeks used to say, there was at least 9 different levels of love or types of love, not necessary levels. And you're applying it to your life to see how it actually is taking form and shape, and what phase of it you're going through right now, and how to allow it to help you, okay, to grow. Meditate on it, feel it, take some walks out there and really be a part of it, be with the animals, go ride a horse out in the countryside, okay? And if not, go for a motorcycle ride up I was gonna say up the river, up the coast, or cross country for a little bit. Get away, regroup, breathe, always breathe, breathe, breathe. The number one thing you could be doing for yourself, okay? And always be aware of stretching and keeping your body active, okay? Because in doing that, you realize too, because especially with around children, because you need to keep yourself lucid, flexible, and flowing to be available and agile with your children. Okay, Sagittarius, you take care on that and enjoy your Halloween. We have Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, you have changes occurring in your 11th house. The way you are interacting with your friends is very important. Who are your friends? Why do you want them to be your friends? And how do they represent you? So you might start a new group. You might start being a part of a new sport, a new group that helps out socially, or it could just be a social group, but it's something that's going to better represent you, Capricorn. You have had Saturn in your 12th house to really, really see who you are, meditate, and get in touch with yourself, and really give an opportunity to explore and connect, especially with Pluto there and then Mars. You're being pushed to do something now, to share that, share those ideas. Especially too, because when you guys you learn something in depth, and then you're very nurturing, even if you're male, and supportive, like that fatherly support, okay? Um, that loving dominant is like what I like to call you Capricorns. Okay. The ones that I know, maybe there is a jerk out there, but usually people, it's all matter of perspective, right? Maybe the jerks of the Carol ones who always work and you never see them, who should have never had family, but I don't know. But your goals are also changing, so these groups are going to better represent you. You thought you had certain life goals and certain themes that we're going to emphasize this past year, but also too, it's a good time to get a solar chart reading for your birthday coming up soon, so you see what is the new theme for the whole year in your 6-month forecast. The more details, so that way you can ride the waves of life and surfing them as opposed to getting knocked down by them. Okay, but really go out there and enjoy and have that change. Okay, So, and happy Halloween. Aquarius, let's have, we're talking about, right here, let me write down the time. Aquarius, you're having changes occurring in your 10th house. And that's maybe you have a new supervisor coming in. You are being the new supervisor. You having new rules being shared down to you and expected that you need to fulfill, or you're sharing them. A supportive atmosphere is there. And it's probably from a female, feminine energy, female point of view. If you're having issues, Aquarius, you might feeling obstacles because this is squaring you. um, don't take it personally. Just think, well, there is something of transformative needs to happen at work. I think you've been already know that things needed to change at work and maybe even go to a new career because this is no longer satisfying you. This can also be that something is occurring within your parents, that more attention is needed for them, and you being there for them, participating, or how you see yourself as a parent is changing. Okay. But either way, it's taking and being involved and partaking in wisdom, sharing the wisdom of your own experience in life, and really giving, sharing it with others, listening to other people too, accepting our humanness, and a lot of times, I've been, since this is a Scorpio, I've been really sharing the shadow side of each sign, what we tend to do. And so, Aquarius, what we tend to do also is we tend to want to help out society without asking them if they needed help or how they want to be helped, but in the view of how we would have appreciated. Doesn't mean everybody else would appreciate that. And that's very important because some people might have, maybe someone was just resting. We throw a dime in the cup. You've seen that in the movies. And the person gets mad. It's like, hey, that was my coffee. Now I got the germs of the money in there. Like, oh, I thought you were needy, you know? So sometimes our good intention can actually cause a negative spiral. So be aware that the person is on the receiving end of our good intention, really wants that. Also, too, is just because we have those insecurities from when we were growing up doesn't mean other people do. So, I mean, that's very, very important. I had a situation where one person said, "Oh, I'm so sorry you went through that." And I was like, actually, it was very transformative for me. It wasn't negative. And they're like in shock and thought I was weird. And I was like, well, just because you had a negative one doesn't mean it was negative for me. It's all a matter of perspective. So be very, very aware when we do that. So it helps us to grow because Scorpio is a transformative. We can then realize that and allow ourselves to be more balanced and see different sides, which you guys really try and do. And I commend you on that, Aquarius, finding that intellectual balance. So enjoy your Halloween and, Day of the Dead. And mwah, let's continue. Pisces. Pisces, you have changes occurring in your ninth house, and that is always wonderful. This you're transforming the way you interact with the universe, with the divine creative, all that is, with your spiritual side, and it's wanting to change. You are needing to let go. I've been talking about since Scorpio, the new moon is in Scorpio. I've been talking about our shadow side and how we can use this energy to really, really be the phoenix and come from the ashes and come to a positive side. And I say this as a introduction because you guys like to play the victim. And I don't want you like, oh my gosh, she's so hard. She's being so. It's not just you guys. I'm trying to give an uh, an opening view, of how we can get better ourselves. Okay, Pisces. So that's very important. So just so you know, heads up. And if you're gonna have issues and you're getting, maybe you don't want to hear this one. This is just for a wonderful self-improvement we all can go through. So Pisces, this connection, how we see ourselves spiritual, is a lot of us are Pisces are going to be negative and almost feel undeserving. And oh, well, I thought because it's easier for other people to ask other people to change than to actually discipline ourselves. As Pisceans can be scatterbrains, they're not well balanced on their feet. And if you're having a very important job, make sure it's something creative. I know one Pisces who's a nurse, and I have certain rules in the kitchen because I have a child, and also too for safety reasons, and the way the silverware needs to be, especially because I have a kitten who likes to go on the counter, and at night when we're sleepy, even though I don't like it, but he does. Ragnar, we all met Ragnar. But the point is the person was like very upset because I asked to make sure that the handles of the silverware was up for safety reasons, and they're like, "Oh, it's just silverware." And I said, "You're a nurse. If I said that about your tools that you use, would that be okay?" And they didn't like that. But that's an example of how sometimes what you might not think is important to you is important to someone else, and that needs to be respected. But this also gives you an opportunity to see different sides of different cultures and philosophies and really grow into it and appreciate that and enjoy that. And then you can share it with others. So being open minded and not taking things so personal, but just taking it as a hey, I can apply this and learn something and grow from it. It's very important. You're having opportunities too to take a class, maybe a higher level, an academic, university level class too. So all these things, this long distance traveling and belief systems and getting to know is awesome and wonderful. Besides meditating, be part of the water, and really just allowing yourself to give yourself permission to be human. Thus, by doing that, we're giving ourselves permission to learn. Okay? Just because we're a certain age doesn't mean we stop learning. And a lot of Pisces don't give themselves permission. We don't give ourselves permission to be human. So we're like, oh, I should know that. And we were trying to hide our ego. And then we are either being too submissive or playing the victim, okay, or the martyr. And none of that is appreciated by others because they push away, because that is not a very mature and developed, enlightened person does. So always open up, share the positive of the different philosophies, but take into and be willing to learn from it and apply it to our own lives. And remember, when we apply it, it doesn't just do it once. Oh, please, how many people I know that are like, oh, I should know better by now. Give yourself a break. We're human. I mean, if I went to the gym and worked out once, are we going to have all these transformative results? No, it's going to take a good 20 times. And I know with some people, heck, it takes 100 times before it becomes good habit. And that's okay. We need to give ourselves permission and love ourselves for that. Because after all, I mean, like when I used to teach, it said if it only takes a child to learn something like 3 to 4 times, but to unlearn it 12 times and then to reteach it about 21 times. That's a lot. So we wish we could learn it right. And maybe we did learn it right, at that stage of our life or for that phase of the decade of society, but now things have changed and it's okay. So we got to give ourselves a break and give ourselves a lot of love and nurturing during it. Anyway, this is Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness. Please check out our website at nereidalasirena.com or celestialsoulwellness.com. It could be translated into many languages. There's a nice little button that you can do there. And check out our astrological services. Again, we're available for phone and virtual um, services, contact online, also for our health services and classes and our energy transformational healing classes too and services. So thank you. It's always a privilege. Namaste to be a part of your life. If you liked any part of this, I know also might have been a little bit harsh this time, but all of us, but it's so we can learn. But we need to accept that we can learn and give ourselves that opportunity and accept our humanness. And that's a good thing. It really is, because that means we can only get better, right? It's a matter of perspective. Okay, so really give yourself a lot of love. Know I find it as a privilege to be in your life. And if you're in LA, in Southern California area, Quipo Hula for your dancing entertainment. Okay, check us out on the YouTube and on my YouTube station and also on my website. And let's see, what am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting. Join us for our mantra circles. If you have someone you want us to send prayers and blessings for, go ahead under the energy services. You may check that out, and it gives you guidance and directions, instructions how to participate in that. And a lot of love. Share this if you liked any part. Thumbs up and constructive criticism with love is always, always appreciated. Chasita.